The Senate will come to order. I ask everyone to please rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Rabbi Wendy Love Anderson of Temple Israel of Albany, in Albany, New York, will deliver today's invocation.
Let us pray. May it be your will, eternal our God and the God of our ancestors, that you guide, protect, and inspire the members of the New York State Senate in their upcoming deliberations. On this day of Jewish Holocaust Remembrance, Yom HaShoah, I pray especially that you grant the senators the understanding of how that era has transformed the life of every New Yorker today, from post-war immigration and veteran reintegration to K-12 Holocaust education, to the codification of human rights in international law. Grant the senators the wisdom to discern how the Holocaust was uniquely terrible and how it was part of a long, tragic history. In what ways and for what audiences the Holocaust needs to be invoked, and especially in 2024, when comparisons to the Holocaust are necessary and when they are disingenuous. In too many incidents in New York and in too many conflicts around the world, we are seeing anti-Semitism and other forms of human bigotry flourish again in places where never again was a slogan. Grant the senators the compassion to respond when their constituents are frightened, when they are grieving, when they are traumatized, and when they are desperate. Grant them the power to make choices that will benefit New York, the United States, and the world. And grant them the opportunity for a meaningful and productive legislative session. May the one who makes peace in the heavens make peace for us and for all our people, and let us say, Amen.
Reading of the journal.
In Senate, Sunday, May 5, 2024, the Senate met pursuant to adjournment. The journal of Saturday, May 4, 2024 was read and approved. On motion, the Senate adjourned.
Without objection, the journal stand approved as read. Presentation of petitions. Messages from the Assembly. Messages from the Governor. Reports of standing committees. Reports of select committees. Communications and reports from state officers. Motions and resolutions. Senator Gianaris.
Good afternoon, Madam President. On behalf of now former Senator Kennedy, I move that the following bills be discharged from their respective committees and recommitted with instructions to strike the enacting clauses. Senate Bill numbers 1368, 1370A, 4738, 5663, 5707, 6925, 6934, 6545, 7610, 8376, and 7109.
So ordered.
Senator Comrie, on page 13, I offer the following amendments to Calendar 359, Senate Bill 682, and ask that said bill retain its place on the third reading calendar.
The amendments are received and the bill will retain its place on the third reading calendar.
By unanimous consent, I wish to call up the following bills which were recalled from the Assembly and are now at the desk, Senate print numbers 2826 and 7130.
The Secretary will read.
Calendar number 86, Senate Print 2862 by Senator Martinez, enactment of the real property tax law.
Senator Gianaris.
Second bill that I referenced.
Calendar number 150, Senate Print 7130 by Senator Comrie, enactment of the alcoholic beverage control law.
Move to reconsider the vote by which these bills were passed.
The Secretary will call the roll on reconsideration.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ortsu, Cousins, White, ayes 55.
The bills are restored to their place on the third reading calendar.
I offer the following amendments to those bills.
The amendments are received.
Please recognize Senator Lanza for a motion.
Senator Lanza.
Thank you, Senator Generis. Madam President, on page 19, I offer the following amendments to Calendar 462, Senate Print 5937A, and ask that said bill retain its place on third reading calendar, and that's on behalf of Senator Oberacher. Also on behalf of Senator Martins, on page 7, I offer the following amendments to Calendar 247, Senate Print 7861, and ask that that said bill retain its place on third reading calendar.
The amendments are received and the bills will retain their place on the third reading calendar. Senator Gianaris.
Let's now take up previously adopted Resolution 1601 by Senator Gallivan. Read that resolution's title and recognize Senator Weber on that resolution.
The Secretary will read.
Resolution 1601 by Senator Gallivan, memorializing Governor Kathy Hochul to proclaim May 6 through 12, 2024 as the Nurses Week in the state of New York.
Senator Weber on the resolution.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise to acknowledge this very important resolution on National Nurses Week, which is celebrated this year from May 6th to May 12th. I'd like to thank Senator Gallivan for carrying this resolution in the Senate each year and for allowing me to speak on it today. You know, my mother was a registered nurse her whole career at Nyack Hospital, a hospital that I was born in Rockland County, county I've lived in my entire life. So let me start off by saying happy National Nurses Week to my mother. For a long time, nurses were underappreciated for the hard work, dedication, and sacrifice that comes with the territory of this career path. However, nurses are drawn to this line of work not for the praise and recognition, but for the desire to help people. One of the few positives to come out of the COVID pandemic is that nurses, EMS workers, and healthcare workers in general finally started getting the recognition as heroes that they deserve. I guess I was a little ahead of the curve on this one. I've always known that my mother and her fellow nurses were heroes. I'd like to acknowledge some heroes that we have here as guests in the Senate gallery today. Thank you, Liz Falco. Liz Falco is a constituent of mine from Rockland County. Thank you, Liz, for assembling this visit from members of the Rockland County Nurses Honor Guard, the Hudson Valley Nurses Honor Guard, the New York State Nurses Honor Guard, and the National Nurses Honor Guard Coalition. The mission of these honor guards is to pay a heartfelt tribute to the dedicated nurses of their community nearing the end of life or at their time of passing. Much like the solemn military and police ceremonies, volunteer nurses pay homage to beloved colleagues at their funerals or memorial services, or by performing a living tribute as they near the end of life. Their services provide a healing moment for grieving families and friends. The ceremony is a powerful reminder of the nurses' dedication and sacrifice. Dressed in the classic white uniform, complete with a cape and cap, like they are wearing today in the gallery, and maybe they'll stand up while I do this last part, the Nurses Honor Guard carry out a poignant ceremony. Thank you to the Nurses Honor Guards we have here today, and thank you to all the nurses across New York State and around the world for doing the grueling work that helps us all in our times of need. I wish these essential heroes and all nurses a very happy Nurses Week. Congratulations. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator Weber. To our guests from the Nurses Honor Guard, we welcome you on behalf of the Senate. We extend to you the privileges and courtesies of the House. You are rise, but let us recognize you. The resolution was previously adopted on January 17th. Senator Gianaris.
Madam President, I know that Senator Gallivan wants to open that resolution for co-sponsorship.
The resolution is open for co-sponsorship. Should you choose not to be a co-sponsor, please notify the desk. Senator Gianaris.
At this time, please recognize Senator Cooney for an introduction.
Senator Cooney for an introduction.
Thank you, Madam President. It's hard to believe, but I'm one of the last remaining Albany Law alums serving in this Senate chamber. We've had many before, and I'm sure we'll have many after, but at this moment I'm proud to represent the law school and the many Albany Law School graduates working in state government, 2 of which are in my own legislative office. But today it is my privilege to honor and introduce the new president and dean of Albany Law School, Cinnamon Carlarn, to the state Senate. I have been an active and proud alum of Albany Law for well over a decade, and my experiences during and after my education have led me to be the person and the legislator that I am today. Now, the law school, which is located in my colleague Senator Breslin's district, has had the same effect on so many of our colleagues in state government today. And that's why we brought the dean here today during the beginning of her tenure at our law school. We want to congratulate her on achieving this distinguished position. Coming from the Ohio State University Moritz College of Law, the dean has had a long and distinguished career of studying environmental law and social equity, as well as her work to mold the next generation of lawyers here in New York. I can think of no better choice to lead my alma mater, and it's been a pleasure to witness the beginning of your time at Albany Law School, and I look forward to all that you will accomplish in advancing legal education here in New York. So again, congratulations, and welcome to the New York State Senate.
To our guest, Dean Carlarn, we welcome you on behalf of the Senate. We extend to you the privileges and courtesies of the House. Please rise and be recognized. Senator Gianaris.
At this time, there will be an immediate meeting of the Rules Committee in room 332.
There'll be an immediate meeting of the Rules Committee in room 332.
The Senate will stand at ease.
The Senate will stand at ease. The Senate will return to order. Senator Gianaris.
Madam President, there's a report of the Rules Committee at the desk. Let's take that up, please.
The Secretary will read.
Senator Stuart Cousins from the Committee on Rules reports the following bills. Senate Print 1535B by Senator Hoyman Siegel, an act to amend the executive law. Senate Print 2129B by Senator Kruger, an act to amend the environmental conservation law. Senate Print 7228A by Senator Harcum, an act to amend the environmental conservation law. Senate Print 7086B by Senator Harcum, an act to amend the environmental conservation law and the state finance law. Senate Print 8356A by Senator May, an act to amend the environmental conservation law and the state finance law. All bills reported direct to third reading.
To accept the report of the Rules Committee?
All those in favor of accepting the report of the Rules Committee signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The report of the Rules Committee is adopted. Senator Gianaris.
Let's take up the calendar, please.
The Secretary will read.
Calendar number 250, Senate Print 2263 by Senator Sanders, an act to amend the Real Property Actions and Proceedings Law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stuart Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
In relation to Calendar 250, those senators voted in the negative are Senators Ashby, Barillo, Kazari Fitzpatrick, Helming, Lanza, Matera, Murray, Oberacker, Ort, Palumbo, Rhodes, Rollison, Steck, Tedisco, and Weber. Also, Senator Martins, ayes 44, nays 16.
Bill is passed.
Yes. Calendar number 256, Senate Print 156 by Senator Kruger, an act to amend the executive law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stuart Cousins, White.
Senator Brooke to explain her vote.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President. And I also want to thank Senator Kruger for bringing this bill forward for Maternal Mental Health Awareness Month. I was thinking this weekend, we hosted our 3rd annual community baby shower. We gave out supplies. We talked about the value of doula care. But one thing that we also talked about, both out loud in the panel, but also in the quiet moments when a new mother came up to me explaining to me some of the anxiety she was feeling about getting ready for her first daughter, was about maternal mental health as well. And that's why this bill is so important, and so much of the work that we do is so important, because we need to say out loud the startling statistic that 1 in 5 birthing people suffer from a maternal mental health disorder. It is the most common pregnancy complication in America. We need to say out loud the fact that mental health conditions are the 3rd leading cause of death in pregnancy-related deaths. And we also need to continue to say out loud that it is more than just the baby blues.
that perinatal mood and anxiety disorders are complex, that they happen during or after pregnancy, and that they can range dramatically in their severity. Saying these truths out loud is why we as a body fight so hard to not only pass the maternal mental health work group in last year's budget, but why we continue to address the stigma around maternal mental health, and why we continue to address the systemic factors that contribute to maternal mental health conditions. For that and many other reasons, I vote aye.
Senator Brooke to be recorded in the affirmative. Senator Canzoneri Fitzpatrick to explain her vote.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to thank the sponsor, also Senator Krueger, for bringing this bill before us today. As the ranking member of our conference for the Mental Health Committee, and as a mom myself, I fully appreciate the significance of this legislation and the importance of bringing attention to maternal mental health, especially during May when we celebrate Mother's Day. It is estimated that approximately 1 in 5 women experience some form of perinatal mood and anxiety disorder, such as postpartum depression, and it's further estimated that 7 in 10 women hide or downplay their symptoms. I've said this about any type of mental health struggle, but it goes especially for our expecting mothers, that no one should suffer in silence. By recognizing Maternal Mental Health Awareness Month, we can work at eroding the stigma associated with mental health so that expecting mothers and everyone can get the support they need for mental wellness. Therefore, Madam President, I proudly vote aye. Thank you.
Senator Canzoneri Fitzpatrick to be recorded in the affirmative. Senator Webb to explain her vote.
Madam President, I too want to lend my voice to all of my colleagues who've spoken thus far to thank Senator Krueger for advancing this legislation. Earlier this year, we introduced a package in the Senate, a robust package of maternal and reproductive health care bills, and this bill in particular is a continuation of the efforts that we've been making in this body to lift up this important issue. And so again, I want to thank Senator Krueger for this legislation. As it's been said, maternal mental health issues are incredibly common and increasingly pervasive. Here in the United States, 1 in 5 women suffer from a mental health disorder before or after giving birth, and a staggering 40% of Black mothers experience maternal mental health symptoms, which are nearly twice the rate of all women combined. Yet despite these shocking figures, 75% of women never receive treatment for this common and treatable medical condition. Women do not receive care for a number of reasons, whether it's lack of screening, maternal care deserts, or shame that keeps women and birthing people from seeking care. By raising awareness about maternal mental health, we can help to ensure that more women get the care that they need and save their lives, and also support them and their families from experiencing the worst health outcomes during their pre- and postnatal periods. I proudly vote aye. Thank you, Madam President.
Senator Webb to be recorded in the affirmative. Senator Ramos to explain her vote.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm voting aye on this bill, and I thank Senator Krueger and all of my other colleagues who continuously speak up for our mental wellness. To me, mental health is about personal and public safety, and although I think we're more aware of the need for mental health care than ever before, we need to put our money where our mouth is. And so this is my post-budget plea to go beyond the $30 million that we allocated in the last enacted budget for an expansion of mental health courts, and actually get the short-term and long-term mental health care and beds, specifically beds that we need in order to provide a safe space for those who are seeking the care, the medication that they need. It's about keeping us all safe, and I'm really hopeful that this fight will transcend into the next session so that we can make that possible. Thank you.
Senator Ramos to be recorded in the affirmative. Senator Krueger to explain her vote.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Thank you to all my colleagues who spoke out in support. I'm so delighted that I now serve in a Senate where so many people seem to understand these issues, work on these issues, speak out on these issues. When I first passed my maternal depression bill, I'm going to say a decade ago, when I was meeting with the healthcare providers of women suffering from maternal depression, I was saying, how do you diagnose them? And the doctor would look at me and say, women actually think when they give birth to a child or when they're pregnant, it's supposed to be the happiest time in their life, the most glorious, happiest time in their life. And some of them, unfortunately, are suffering just the opposite. If you just ask them, how are they doing? And they burst into tears, guess what? They're probably suffering some form of maternal depression, either post or perinatal. And we know what to do about it when we diagnose this. There are all kinds of treatments that work, and yet nobody's diagnosing them. And I thought, how is that possible? But I would talk to doctors over and over again. And I want to just highlight pediatricians came to me, not just the OB-GYNs. Pediatricians came to me and said, you have to work on this issue. It's the #1 problem for our patients in their first year of life. Because if a mother is suffering from depression and cannot provide for the child, cannot bond with the child correctly, perhaps can't breastfeed the child correctly, that child will never get the opportunities in life they should have. So it was actually also our pediatricians who said, this is an issue for children. It's a crisis for children and the whole family. So please, please, please get New York State to do more about this. And we still haven't done enough, but as you've heard today, so many of my colleagues here on both sides of the aisle understand why we have to get this done. Because again, the solutions are pretty damn easy, and the outcomes can be life-changing for an entire family. I vote yes. Thank you, Madam President.
Senator Krueger to be recorded in the affirmative. Announce the result.
Ayes 60.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 263, Senate Print 1899 by Senator Stavisky, an act to amend the executive law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the 1st of January.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris Kruger, Ortsul, Cousins, White.
Announce the result.
Ayes 60.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 345, Senate Print 5802A by Senator Mannion, an act to amend the environmental conservation law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect June 1st, 2025.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris Kruger, Ortsul, Cousins, White.
Announce the result.
In relation to calendar 345, voted in the negative are Senators Bridgeport and Martinez, ayes 58, nays 2.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 447, Senate Print 2124 by Senator Rivera, an act to amend the social services law.
Read the last section.
Section 3, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris Kruger, Ortsul, Cousins, White.
Announce the result.
In relation to calendar 447, vote in the negative, Senator Griffo, ayes 59, nays 1.
Bill is passed.
Calendar number 516, Senate Print 443 by Senator Skoufis, an act to amend the education law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris Kruger, Ortsul, Cousins, White.
Announce the result.
In relation to calendar 516, those senators voted in the negative are Senators Ashby, Borrello, Kazarian Fitzpatrick, Gallivan, Griffo, Helming, Lanza, Martins, Matera, Murray, Oberacker, Ort, Palumbo, Rhodes, Rollison, Steck, Tedisco, Weber, and White, ayes 41, nays 19.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 574, Senate Print 145 by Senator Gianaris, an act to amend the public authorities law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris Kruger, Ortsul, Cousins, White.
Announce the result.
In relation to calendar 574, those senators voted in the negative are Senators Borrello, Kazarian Fitzpatrick, Gallivan, Griffo, Helming, Lanza, Martins, Matera, Ort, Palumbo, Rhodes, Steck, Tedisco, and White, ayes 46. Also Senator Oberacker, Ayes 45, nays 15.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 593, Senate Print 2824 by Senator Lanza, enactment of the Vehicle and Traffic Law.
Read the last section.
Section 3, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, Gianaris Kruger, Ort, Sewell Cousins, White.
Announce the result.
Ayes 60.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 596, Senate Print 6922 by Senator Webb, enactment of the Transportation Law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the 180th day and shall become a law.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, Gianaris Kruger, Ort, Sewell Cousins, White.
Announce the result.
In relation to calendar 596, those senators voted in the negative are Senators Oberacker and White, ayes 58, nays 2.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 705, Senate Print 4467B by Senator Mayer, enact to amend the executive law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, Gianaris Kruger, Ort, Sewell Cousins, White.
Announce the result.
In relation to calendar 705, those senators voted in the negative are Senators Borrello, Griffo, Helming, Ort, Palumbo, and Steck, ayes 54, nays 6.
Bill is passed.
Calendar number 724, Senate Print 6288 by Senator Henchy, enact to amend the Family Court Act and the Criminal Procedure Law.
Read the last section.
Section 4, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, Gianaris Kruger, Ort, Sewell Cousins, White.
Senator Helming to explain her vote.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise to explain my vote. I am supporting this bill. I was proud to support it when it was Senator Sue Serino's bill, and I continue to be proud to support it. But I do want to point out some staggering statistics. In 2007, there were almost 50,000 family offense petitions filed in our New York State family courts. In 2008, there was an expansion to include persons in intimate relationships. The number of family offense petitions has steadily risen over the last few years, with the notable exception of 2020. During 2020, although family courts were open in hearing family offense petitions, the total filings dropped back to the 2007 levels. But since that time, family offense filings have recovered and were a staggering 46% higher in 2023 than in 2020. And represented 14% of all total family court petitions that were filed statewide. While I support this legislation, continuing to expand family court jurisdiction to include more cases and different people requires action to expand staffing. Without this, I think we're going to continue to see our family courts struggle. They can't continue to do more with less. Thank you, Madam President.
Senator Helming to be recorded in the affirmative. Senator Rolison to explain his vote.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to thank this body again for passing Melanie's law. I want to thank my colleague, Senator Henchy, for being able to continue to bring this bill forward, and also former Senator Sue Serino, who carried this bill a good number of years ago. You know, when we see challenges, especially related to public safety, and issues surrounding the most personal acts of violence that we see in cases of domestic violence and family violence, we need to act. This Senate is doing it again, and I proudly vote aye. Thank you, Madam President.
Senator Rolison to be recorded in the affirmative. Announce results.
Ayes 60.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 785, Senate Print 40 by Senator Gallivan, enact to amend the executive law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the 1st of November.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, Gianaris Kruger, Ort, Sewell Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 60.
The bill is passed.
Calendar numbers 797, Senate Print 1469 by Senator Breslin, enact to amend the insurance law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, Gianaris Kruger, Ort, Sewell Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 60.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 802, Senate Print 2863 by Senator Martinez, enact to amend the general municipal law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, Gianaris Kruger, Ort, Sewell Cousins, White.
Announce the result.
In relation to Calendar 802, those senators voted in the negative are Senators Ashby, Barillo, Kinsler Fitzpatrick, Gallivan, Griffo, Lanza, Martins, Murray, Oberacker, Ort, Rhodes, Rollison, Steck, Tedisco, and Weber. Ayes 45, nays 15.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 822, Senate Print 1605 by Senator Serrano, enactment of the Social Services Law.
Read the last section.
Section 4, this act shall take effect on the 60th day and shall become a law.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris Kruger, Ort, Sewell Cousins, White.
Announce the result.
Ayes 60.
The bill is passed. Senator Gianaris, that completes the reading of today's calendar.
Is there any further business at the desk?
There is no further business at the
I
desk.
move to adjourn until tomorrow, Tuesday, May 7th at 3 p.m.
On motion, the Senate stands adjourned until Tuesday, May 7th at 3 p.m.